So let's sort of circle back to that Stallions versus Generals game. What were your sort of big takeaways from that first opening night game?
For one, it was an electric game. That was the best way to open it up. So they definitely
For
picked the
sure.
right matchup to do it. They got Luis Perez, who's kind of a little bit more of a known name for being in these spring leagues left
Yeah.
and right. So they got him in front of everybody for the first game, and he showed out. He came through for them. Exciting game. I feel like the Generals have a talented roster. They got to figure it out on defense. Zamar Smith obviously comes in as a backup and looking like Donovan McNabb out there dominating. He was balling out. I really was impressed by what Zamar Smith did, and I think he may have earned himself a starting job next week for sure. And of course, just being clutch in that last drive. They marched
Yeah.
down the field, and then he was patient and made that last play to get into the end zone. So I think that both these teams are good. Both these teams are going to be in contention. The Generals just let the other team get the ball last. It didn't work out. I also feel
Yeah.
like slowing it down, like I was saying earlier, they completely slowed it down. They said this team can't handle our O-line. Maybe they can't. I understand using it in spots, but
Yeah.
to take Luis Perez out of the game completely. And by the time we got to the end, I was like, oh no, they're going to have to throw him back in after
Yeah.
like 30 minutes of no throwing.
That was the first time that I really thought that this league was really sort of operating outside of a competitive environment, more so in this is a showcase for guys who want to make it back in the league. Because at that point, there was no real like competitive reason to take out Perez. He was operating, and to me, it's like I think that the USFL is eventually angling to be sort of a feeder system for the NFL,
Mm.
and I think this first weekend we saw sort of some of the ways that's coming to fruition in terms of how coaches are prioritizing playing time for certain players, as opposed to moves that might otherwise create a competitive advantage for them.
Yeah, I mean, the only spot that DeAndre Johnson's style of play in that game really works out is like a Marcus Mariota in Vegas situation behind Derek Carr.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting. It reminded me of that a lot, but times 10, on another
I was
scale.
pretty shocked. I was pretty shocked at how sort of lively the crowd was for that game. I mean,
Yeah.
Birmingham, they seem to have like some local support. I understand tickets are $10, but it was a pretty fun environment for the opening game of the season, I thought.
Yeah, and the game helped being back and forth the way it was. And the way they opened it up, man, Randy Satterfield, that guy's looking like he might be the star receiver of the league. We'll see if he can repeat that performance. But man, exciting game. I was very
Yeah,
pumped after that game. And the other games were exciting as well. I will say that. But this one was like the cleanest, most NFL like game, in my
for
opinion.
sure.